Coucou, I'm Colibri. I'm an ongoing costume designer and artist, and this video is going to be about how I manipulate fabric for my costumes. This current costume is about hermaphroditus, and for this costume I tried to get a metallic look like you can see here. For this I tried to match the colors and to play around with some tools and colors in the shape and color of oxidated metal. I used, for example, this metallic brush, other kinds of brushes, knives, forks, and everything to match the shape of this oxidated metallic look. Part of this was this old, rusty and demolished surface of this metal, and I tried to match this with these materials, or to cut the material or the fabric in this way, like you can see it on the inspo picture. And I stabilized the fabric with some fabric filler or material filler, and this is how you get the fabric in so rigid. On this piece, for example, I used some solid fabric filler and painted on it. So I did some experiments with this fabric filler and tried to simulate the shape of this old rusty metal. In this case I used a knife, but you can also use some other materials like a brush or a fork or spoons. Every material you use has another shape and gives another shape in your fabric or in this material filler, which I was going to paint on it. So after your desired texture or pattern is all dried out, you can start to put some colors on it. And in this case, for example, you can put a darker color in the background, and on the top you get some lighter color to get a more deeper texture. On this example you can see this white texture resembling a lot to bacterial textures, and this texture you can recreate with a specific color and specific material which you put on your fabric and you heat it up very, very hot, and it's just not melting but popping out and giving this organic texture. In my design I also have to recreate skin tones, which you can achieve, for example, by putting some black tea into a hot water tub and trying to dye your fabric with it. And depending on the amount of black tea you put in and the amount of time you put your fabric into the water, your skin tone is going to turn out lighter or darker. To adjust the skin tones, you can also use some fabric colors, which I put into water and liquefied it. And like my costume has many bruises on his skin, I used a lot of violet and blue colors and red too. So what you can see here is the final corset. At the inside I put some bonings, and at the outside it has this metallic look, and I had to glue the fabric from the inside and to stabilize it with some bonings to get a very rigid and uncomfortable look. I used, for example, these colors, and I got this fabric from my grandma, which is very, very interesting, because when you cut into it and you just bruise it with a brush, It's getting really metallic, and I just wanted to put them onto the corset to get more this dispatched look. So yeah, this is the final outcome and also the end of this video. I hope I see you in my next video. Until then, salut!